Hi everyone, this is Prashant Mauni and I welcome all of you in StudyIQ. The date today is 10th September 2017. Day is Sunday. Let's see what we have got in the Hindu today. Now before moving ahead, please allow me to introduce to our pen drive and tablet courses. If you haven't got one, then I would recommend all of you to get it as soon as possible. You can get it from our website or you can give us a call on this number as well. If you are preparing for SSC exam, banks, or UPSC or any other state civil services exam, then this are going to help you a lot. Now GST Council had a meeting yesterday and there are some important points that are coming out from this GST Council, but before we see what they are, let me briefly give you an overview of GST Council. Now the GST Council is headed by Union Finance Minister, that is Arun Jaitley, right? The other thing is that the members of this GST Council are, generally speaking, finance minister from all the states, but it's not necessary that it should be a finance minister. It could be any other minister as well, as recommended by the chief minister of that particular state. Now the voting, if there is any, say for example, there is a sort of opinion or there is no consensus regarding a particular thing, then there would be a voting. And now for this voting, the central government has 1/3 of voting rights and 2/3 is with all the states together. So basically you can say that 33% is in the hand of central government and the rest 66% is in the hand of all the states together. Now why they have done it? Because the voting, if you want to pass anything, if you want to give a green signal to any particular decision, then the total amount of vote required is 75% or more than that. Now imagine if government is having 33%, central government is having 33% with them, and if 50% is kept, then it would be very easy for central government to pass anything they like. So to keep a fine balance and to ensure that this is a sort of cooperative federalism, this is the 75% is mandatory for anything to get a green signal, and the voting share is divided in this form of 1/3 and 2/3 of center and states respectively. Now let's go to what are the important decisions that were taken yesterday. Now there were some glitches or there were some issues regarding filing of GST returns. Now remember that all the businesses and traders have to file GST returns by the end of every month. When I say end of every month, I mean, say for example it is January 2017, just for example, then the whole of January's GST returns should be filed somewhere in February on a fixed date, right? There is a small bracket during which they have to file it. But because it was introduced in July and it is something new and many people are learning the ropes, that means they are learning how to file the returns and how GST works, things like that. So government has earlier as well provided some extra days, and now they have found that there are some technical glitches. So because of this thing, government has extended. The reason why I have highlighted it here, say for example October 10 is for the GST return 1, that is first month, second month, third month and fourth month. The November and October and everything is given here. But the reason why I'm highlighting this thing in detail is to make you remind that every month every business has to file GST. Now the other thing is that there are some technological, as I told you, technological challenges or glitches. So because of to sort it out, the GST Council has decided to constitute a group of ministers. Now these ministers are going to be from the member states, right? So there would be a small team of ministers who are going to look into this issue. They are going to find some solution regarding this thing. Another important thing is that 30 items of common use, right, like idli and dosa batter, oil cakes, raincoats, rubber bands, roasted peanuts, and there are other items as well. Now these items will be exempted from GST. Why is this so? Because imagine, you know it very well that in our country we have huge amount of population that is poor, right? And these are the things that are used on daily basis. So if there is a, say for example, GST is applied on this thing, then overall expenses of these people or their budget would be, they would be paying more GST, isn't it? For a poor person, even a saving of 300-400 rupees is a huge amount. So this is the reason, keeping in mind the situation of our country and the economical condition of our people, this decision is taken. The other thing is that small cars will be exempted from cess hike. Now, what basically is cess and why there is a sort of cess on GST? Now, you know that there are 5 different categories or the 5 different brackets. One is 0%, right? Generally, it is not taken into consideration. It is called exempted category. Beg your pardon. Then you have 5% slab, you have 12%, 18% and 28% slab. Right, so on the 28% slab, you find that there are some cess on it. Now this cess is predominantly implemented because just in case after the rollout of GST, if any state is finding there is a drop in their revenue collection or their revenue share, then this cess will fill that gap. So imagine that Rajasthan or any other state used to have, say for example, 100 rupees as their revenue every year. Now if after the implementation of GST, if it is found that they are getting only 90 rupees, so this 10 rupees will be provided to them from the kitty, the kitty or the money that is collected from this cess, and it is implemented on luxurious item and some they are also known as sin goods like tobacco products, cigarettes and other items. So this is one of the main reason. And the other thing is that why the small cars are exempted. I will give you a small brief on this thing as well. Now you know that a couple of years ago or maybe a decade ago, it was that only person who are rich can afford car, but now things are changing. Now every middle class person, generally speaking, would have a car, but it's not necessary that they would be driving a luxury or a sports utility vehicle, but they would be having a small hatchback or a small car, right? So if they have to pay a cess on this thing, then it is definitely going to impact their savings. So keeping this thing as in mind as well, GST Council has decided to exempt small cars from cess hike. The other thing is that exporter groups, they have 2 issues and they are going to be looked after by Revenue Secretary. Remember, Revenue Secretary is the official secretary of GST Council. This is an important point, so please keep this in mind as well. Now, what are the 2 issues? One is quicker refund. If you are exporting something and if there is a GST on it, so if you have to claim it back. Now if it is taking time, then that is going to affect your working capital. Working capital basically means the day-to-day cash that you have in your hand to operate your business smoothly. So if the refunds are quicker, then they are going to be less shortage in working capital. So this is one problem, and the other problem is that many exporting or export oriented units have to pay integrated GST. So for this reason, this is one of second issue, and this is going to be, as I told you, looked after by Revenue Secretary. Moving on to another item, this is important. The thing is, you find this sort of questions in your, particularly in your prelims exams, right? They ask you where you find Khijadia bird sanctuary, or they may ask you about specific things regarding jackals, and many times when you find this sort of questions, then we feel that they are asking everything under the sun. That is not right. They do ask this sort of questions, that is right, but the thing is, most important thing is that this sort of questions are generally speaking, right, maximum time they are coming from current affairs, something that has recently happened or discovered, something unusual. So this sort of things you should keep in your mind, and I thought that I should share these things with you. Now we know jackals, right? Jackals are generally associated with as they are intruders, or they are scavengers. They eat whatever is left away, etc. They are very smart as well, and so we know this. There are many stories on jackals, so we know about it. Now this is scientifically being proven by the scientists as well. It's not that they have cracked any sort of examination. The thing is that they are found in this small island of Piroton. Now this is India over here, right, and this is Gujarat. So here Gujarat, you find Gulf of Kutch. Here this is your Arabian Sea, this is Kutch, and this is the other part of Gujarat. So here is a small island called Piroton Island. Now this Piroton Island has a small population of Now the interesting thing is that these jackals, of course, they require drinking water for their survival, and they are living in a small island, and generally the water that is available here is saline in nature, so it is they cannot drinking, it is not potable water for them. So what they do is they lick the dew, the small droplets that you find in the early morning on the leaves of the plants. They drink this away, they lick this away, and with this they can manage their water requirements. The other thing is that they do manage this water requirement from the crab meat as well. They do eat a lot of crab over here, and the crab do have some water within them as well. So this is an interesting thing. Apart from that, there are two important things here. One is that you find a marine national park over here, right? There are many other things. It's difficult for me to highlight each and everything over here in this small time, but please go through all these important items regarding corals and soft corals and fish and prawns and other things that you find here. Then other important thing is that Khijadia Bird Sanctuary is located in Gujarat. Many times you find this sort of questions as match the following, like Khijadia Bird Sanctuary, Gujarat. They will give you another bird sanctuary and give you another state. Many times you have to identify the right one, or you have to eliminate the wrong one. Whatever it is, keep this in mind. Khijadia is in Gujarat, Khijadia Bird Sanctuary, and this Piroton Island and Marine National Park, and the unusual way of drinking of this jackals. Another item regarding Down syndrome. Now this syndrome is basically we have India has the largest population of people who are affected by this disease, and the first international conference regarding this disease was held in New Delhi yesterday. So basically it is about this. After the inauguration, or after this conference, we will find that the awareness, which is lacking a lot regarding this disease, it will be spread around. People will come to know about it. And the medical side of this thing, a small detail is that it is also known as trisomy 21. It is a genetic disorder caused by presence of all or part of third copy of chromosome 21. Keep this thing in mind. Many times they do ask you this sort of questions. You won't find them in mains examination, but if you are, say for example, if you are medical is your background, then you may find this sort of questions in your interview as well. Now doctors have emphasized that it is very important that there are good relations and support from siblings. Like say for example, if A is suffering from this trisomy 21, then if A's brother and sister, if they are cordial with him or her, or if they are supporting and sharing all the tender loving care with this person, then it is going to be helpful for this person to live a normal life. The other thing is that or you can say a very sad thing regarding India is that our country is very hostile when it comes to specially abled people. When it comes to Divyangs, our country is very hostile. They are eve-teased, they are bullied, right? We find them, I'm sure you might have seen or experienced this sort of things, which is very disheartening. This is something that is not in anyone's hand, and this should definitely not be promoted in our society. Even if you observe the way our government offices, and if you observe many of the schools as well, you go there, you won't find disability access over there. You won't find disabled friendly access over there. We don't find disabled parkings in our country here. If you go to foreign countries, then you will find that no building, right? Some of the developed countries, you will find that every single building would have disabled access. They would have disabled toilets. There would be a person who would be officially trained. That person would be doing other duties as well, but there would be a couple of guys or ladies would be there who knows how to deal with, if there is any help they can do with this sort of people, then they are trained for it, which is lagging a lot in our country. There are some good examples, like I remember there was an IAS officer from Hyderabad, if I'm not thoroughly wrong. Then it was somewhere in Hyderabad or other part of Andhra Pradesh. I'm talking before the division of Andhra Pradesh, and that person has, that gentleman has done great work. He basically, all the government buildings were made disabled friendly by this IAS officer. The other thing is that the other sad thing is that so far there is that no government support has been provided to these people suffering from trisomy 21. But hopefully, as Ajit Doval was present in this conference as well, so that means that government knows about it, and now from now on we can see that government will start supporting this people. And the other thing is insurance companies as well are not providing any sort of insurance cover to them. But I believe that as government has taken part in it, so it will also persuade insurance companies to cover these people. Another item, dear friends, is regarding again something related with environment. This is a small bird that you can see here. It is known as small prateen coals, right? Small prateen coals. They are found in coal wetlands in Thrissur. This coal wetland is part of Vebanand, right? Vebanand coal. And most important thing that I would like to highlight here is that it is protected by Ramsar Convention. Now, Ramsar Convention, what is it all about? It is about protecting wetlands. It is a sort of international convention, right? And it is protecting wetlands of international importance. As you can see, you find this bird over here. In the same sense, you find many different species of plants and flora and fauna over here. So it is important to preserve them. It is important to protect them, to provide them a protective environment. And this is done by Ramsar Convention. Now, Ramsar is a word that you may find that it is part of India, or it would be a city or place in India. No, it is not. It is in Iran. This is this conference of on wetlands was conducted in 1971 in Ramsar. So that's why it is known as Ramsar Convention. It is also known as Convention on Wetlands. These are important items that I have highlighted and told to you, so please keep this in mind. You will find this sort of questions if you go to past papers as well. There have been questions on Ramsar Convention, and if they ask you, like, twisting the question or twisting the information whether India is part of Ramsar Convention or not, then remember it is. And the logical thing is that if this coal wetland is protected under Ramsar Convention, then definitely India has signed for Ramsar Convention. Moving on to another item. Now, this is coming from Venkaiah Naidu ji. He is Vice President of our country. Earlier, he used to look after the Urban Development Ministry as well. And now he is talking about smart city. And what I would like to again highlight is that anytime if you hear President, Prime Minister, or a Vice President, or if you find any ministers giving any speech, or if they are talking about any particular thing, then take it as an official statement. The thing is, say for example, Venkaiah Naidu ji arrived in Jharkhand, so it would be planned, right, before many days ago. The other thing is that why he's going there, what are the things that are going to take place, everything is briefed, right? So officially the views of government is formed, and when he is going there as Vice President, if now he is not in BJP, now he is not representing any political party, because he is Vice President, and that's how it works, right? A President and Vice President that are not part of political party, even if they used to be in BJP, but now they are not official members of BJP. So in this sense, they are not political leaders. They are now official people of our country. They are holding a constitutional post. So whatever they say regarding this thing is official. Now, Ranchi on smart city. Let's go to smart city if this thing is clear. So Ranchi will be the first greenfield smart city of our country. It will have IT parks. It will have beauty parks. Like, it would be designed in such a way that it will look beautiful. There would be security, right? So these are the things that are going to be in the Ranchi smart city. It is going to be the first greenfield city, and it is going to work as per Naidu ji. It is going to be the lighthouse for Jharkhand, and it will also be the lighthouse for the entire country. That means it is going to be the best example for the other states as well, to in the direction of how a smart city should be. Now, he has said that there should be 24/7 electric city, not only in this smart city, but in all the smart cities, in all the towns, and in all the villages. Now, I'm sure you know it, like how life is without electricity. If you have a power cut of 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hours, then you know how it is painful. Many of your things would be unfinished. But imagine if you have, say for example, if you are running a hotel, right, in a tourist destination, and now you have all the geographical benefits, you have good views and things like that, but if you are having a sort of power supply here and there, then do you think your business will pick up, or the whole industry or hotel people or the whole tourism industry will come down if you don't have? No people would like to prefer or to spend their holidays in a place where they don't have electricity. The other thing is that imagine you are from Japan and you want to invest in India, and you have decided that part of West Bengal is the best place where you want to build your factory. But if you find that the government is unable to provide you 24/7 electricity, then it will impact your production. That means it will impact your profits as well. Many times the projects that they may look profitable, but at the end you will find that because of electricity they are turning out to be a big loss. So this is the reason. It is not only about personal use, it is about other things. The digital education on which we are conversating at the moment is also based on the 24/7 or the good amount or adequate supply of electricity. Without this as well, we cannot communicate. The other important thing what Naidu ji said is that if we want to make smart cities, right, first of all he said that 1, 2 or 100 smart cities are not going to make any difference, right, or it's not going to make big difference, right. It's not about not going to make, but it's not going to make a big difference. The thing is, he said that if all the cities, right, at present the government is planning, or the whole mission is to create 100 smart cities, but if other cities are not smart, then the whole India will never become a country of smart city, or you can say we won't get all the basic amenities of our life. Now how we can do it? He said that local bureaucracy, local bodies, politicians and common people as well, right. So everyone, the whole society, may it be from you would be coming from as a common civilians, or if you are working in bureaucracy or local bodies like municipalities, or if you are a local MLA or councillor, then as well it is the duty of everyone to work together as a society, and then and only we can make smart city. Ideally, as per Vice President, and you would agree on many of these things as well, he said that there should be parks and there should be parking facilities as well in a smart city. He said that there should be recycling facility. Recycling of water is important, and this water can be utilized for gardens and factories. Traffic free zones, it impacts hugely to our living standard, right. Amount of stress that is created in traffic jams is huge. Many times people suffering from disease, particularly it is difficult for a woman as well, because they have to, if the working woman who has to reach at her home on time because the kids are waiting for food. So imagine how much stress it would generate on a lady who is working hard on the both ends, on the personal life and on the professional life. It is going to be a big headache for her if she has to spend a couple of hours on traffic jams. Now more and more use of solar power, cycle lanes and pedestrian paths, health and education, and advanced weather forecast. Without advanced weather forecast, we cannot move ahead, or the future is going to be dark. I will give you a small example. Recently what happened in Mumbai, right, 100 mm plus rainfall took place in 12 or 15 hours. Now imagine if we would have advanced weather forecast, and if we would be if we what we say, if you would be knowing about this thing a couple of days ago that this could be the situation, then many of the things that took place could be averted, isn't it? Many lives could be saved, many properties could be saved. If you are suffering from any disease, then you can pre-plan your medication, you can buy some extra medicines, you can buy some extra food, whatever, etc. So you can understand this thing. Now there is a good example of Masdar city. Last year or a couple of years ago, Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited UAE, right, and in UAE you have a city called Abu Dhabi, and they are building Masdar city over there. This is going to be the first city in the world that is going to be carbon free. All the vehicles, all the transportation system, all the offices, no carbon emission at all. Everything will work on renewable energy. So this is a good example when we talk about smart city or future city of the world. But still, as I told you earlier, that the definition, I have told you earlier in another lecture, that the definition of smart city could be different of India, and it could be different in Europe or any other country. So we have to keep this in mind as well. But hopefully this is a good example, Masdar. Now PPP model is also talked about. What is PPP? Public-private partnership. From the name you can understand that government and private companies will partner with each other. Now the good thing about this we have opened infrastructure or the smart city project for PPP model, and with this we can get the expert technologies and expertise of private companies. At the same time, foreign companies can also come and participate in building smart cities in our country. Like say for example, Singapore is building Amravati. Amravati is the new capital of Telangana. I beg your pardon, Amravati is the new capital of Andhra Pradesh. I'm really sorry about it. Amravati is the new capital of Andhra Pradesh, and this is developed by partnership with Singapore. So we know Singapore is a city nation, right? The way they have huge amount of rainfall, but you never find situations like Mumbai taking place over there, because they have planned everything. They have managed, their management is quite good when it comes to managing cities. So we are going to utilize their expertise and their experience in making Amravati. And the same way Netherlands is there, UK, France, America. There are many countries who are building different cities in our country under this PPP model. The best thing about this thing is it eliminates the drawbacks of private company. Like many times you find that private company are not sure whether they will get return. So when government is their partner, there will be a sort of guarantee that your money will not sink. The other thing is government, the working pattern is quite slow, so the management can be done by private companies, which is more professional. Moving on to another item is about something to make us to give us a smile on our face, and that cheers others, that will put a cheer on our face, and that is regarding INSV Tarini. Now there is a program called Novica Sagar Parikrama, and under this program 6 brave, very brave women officers of Indian Navy, they are going to circumnavigate the whole world using a small sailing boat. Now this may look bit adventurous. No doubt it is going to bring adventure to all these people. It is going to be the most adventurous journey of their life, but at the same time it is one of the most riskiest thing to do. You can imagine when you go there with a small sailing boat, the sudden change in the weather at different places in the ocean can end your life as well. And this woman, this brave woman of Indian Navy are going to do it, and I strongly believe that they will succeed as well. My prayers, in fact, will pray for them. Narendra Modi has also said that we should share good wishes of words and encouragement for this lady over here. So we will do that. I believe that every one of us will take out some time and share our wishes and words of encouragement on Narendra Modi app. Apart from that, this is going to be a historic day for India. Earlier it was Abhilash Tomi of Indian Navy who was the first person in India and second person in Asia to circumnavigate the whole world on his own. He was the only person on the boat, and he did it all by himself. It is very dangerous. If you ever get time, then do go through his adventures. What are the things that he faced, challenges and all the things, the risks associated with it. And one more thing that I would like to highlight here is that you have seen that there are many people who have surmounted Mount Everest. I'm not saying that surmounting Mount Everest is very easy. It is one of the most difficult thing. If you go through the book written by IPS officer Atul Karwal, he has provided many small details in his Think Everest. The name of the book is Think Everest. I have read that book, and so I know that it is a big thing to surmount Mount Everest itself, but we have seen that many people have managed to do it. But this thing, you can see that only 79% around the world so far in human history have circumnavigated the whole world, which Abhilash Tomi did, and which this brave ladies are going to do as well. Moving on to another item, dear friends, yesterday we have talked in detail regarding Aadhaar card, and if you are new to this channel or if you are new to this video, then I would recommend all of you to go through 9th September 2017's September 2017's The Hindu Analysis in English, and you will find a detailed discussion on Aadhaar card. I told you about biometric information, the difference between biometric information, identity information and personal information, and today the government has said that it is going to link the Aadhaar card with mobile SIM card before February 2018. It is basically following an order of Supreme Court, and government is saying that with this it will eliminate criminals, or it can catch criminals, it can catch fraudsters, and it can also eliminate terrorists with this move. But you have to analyze these things, this linking with how personal information can be exploited, right? How negative use of personal information can be done by government as well. So this is a thing, because in Aadhaar card, regarding Aadhaar, you may be asked questions in mains or interview. So regarding this, you should prepare it. Now, India Sri Lanka held bilateral relation. The new foreign minister of Sri Lanka visited India. He had a meeting with his counterpart, that is Miss Sushma Swaraj. After that, he met Prime Minister as well, and of course both nations talked about deepening the historically close and friendly relations between these two countries. Apart from that, the important thing that I would like to highlight here is the Matala Airport. It is a project that is nearby Hambantota. Now you might be knowing that Hambantota is a seaport that is developed by China, and this was a big issue for India, because China was asking Sri Lanka that whether if Sri Lanka permits, then they can park a sort of nuclear war-headed naval ship in Hambantota, and this was a security challenge for our country. It is also an example of how China colonizes small countries in South Asia. But Matala Port, remember, it is a project by India, and India wants it to be sorted out as soon as possible, or completed as soon as possible. Apart from that, India is also interested in Colombo Port. It is going to be a container terminal port. With this, dear friends, we end last thing in today's item. And last thing is basically regarding a book launched by Press Secretary to former President Abdul Kalam, and the gentleman's name is S.M. Khan. And the name of the book is The People's President Abdul Kalam. The first book was handed over to Prime Minister. You find this sort of questions in SSC, in banks examination, right? They give you the name of the book, and then you have to identify the author. So this is the picture here. He is S.M. Khan. Remember it. He has worked as a press secretary, so he has worked with APJ sir, so he knows many things about APJ as he has worked with him. So a book written by him will be definitely enlightening. With this, dear friends, we end the discussion of Sunday today. I will see you all on Monday, that is tomorrow. If you haven't got pen drive and tablet courses, I would recommend all of you to do it as soon as possible. You can give us a call, and you can also go to our website to know more about it. With this, remember, you would be able to download this lecture from our website and official Telegram channel. Do not forget to subscribe, share, like and comment. With this, I, Prashant Mawani, would wish all the best for your preparation, as well as I would also encourage all of you to enjoy your Sunday, so you have a full week of work with full energy. You have energy for the coming week. That would be all. Thank you very much. Goodbye for now.